The following podcast is not affiliated with the developers who have created the games being reviewed. The reviews are solely the opinions of the hosts to be used to make an educated decision on what games to download and play.
Hello, gamers, and welcome to Budget Arcade, the number one free-to-play gaming podcast in the world. I'm Scott.
My name is Jeff.
And hey, I'm Mark.
And welcome to episode number 105. Just to recap, we normally play a free-to-play game every other week, and then we rate and review it, but we are going to a new format, and the new format requires that we are going to be doing some indie games as well. And one of those games this week is an indie game. Mark, what did we play this week?
Yeah, this week we played Vagante. It's developed by Nuke 9, who you may know by other titles such as Nothing.
Yeah, it's an indie game. This is their first game.
Yeah, sure. It is an adventure RPG / roguelike. It was released originally in December of 2014.
In early access.
Yes. It was released for the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and PC and Mac.
Okay, so you said it was developed by who again?
Nuke 9.
Okay, so it's published though by Blitworks.
I didn't say published. I said developed.
I don't know if I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's who I got the codes
from. But I think
yeah,
they might
you
do
got
like
the codes from
video
the
encoding
publisher. I'm talking about the developer.
Oh,
okay.
Whatever.
But it's pertinent to name that the publisher as well, because that's where we actually got the access to the game.
You didn't tell me who you got the access from the game from, so I assumed it was Nuke 9.
Well, we got it from the publisher, Mark.
Yeah, how dare I not ask that? The out of here.
God,
I gotta bleep that.
I forget where you were at. Calm yourself, friend. Welcome to this new era of Budget Arcade. It's pretty much going to be very similar other than that. We're just running out of good free-to-play games to play, and to maintain my sanity, I've asked Scott if we can branch out a bit, and we've done so. And I'm so happy that there are other games, but I'm happy that this game, Vagante, came across our radar, and we should say that both Scott and Mark were provided codes for this game. I bought mine out of pocket years ago when it was in early access, so just know that as we review it. But I don't think it'll sway anyone's opinion one way or the other.
Gameplay.
Now, this is, like Mark said, it's a roguelike, but it's an action roguelike that's a side-scrolling platformer, so it kind of has a little in common with Spelunky, a ton in common with Brogue and Rogue and NetHack. And that's kind of everything. So
I felt a lot of Shattered Pixel Dungeon vibes on this game.
Well, that's because that game is based on Brogue and NetHack, right? So
yeah.
I would sum this game up as being the action roguelike for people who like traditional roguelikes, because this thing is super hard. I don't know that I've ever beaten the second boss, and I've had this game forever and played it a lot. But one of the things that also makes it similar to those classic roguelike games is the loot mechanics, where you'll find a piece of armor, and you don't want to put it on right away because there's a chance it's cursed. So you need to find scrolls, and some of those scrolls will allow you to identify items. Then once you've identified it, you can safely put it on, or you can just guess and throw something on. There's also colored potions that are not identified. And when you start a new round, they are re-randomized. Then you got to figure out which potions heal, which ones set you on fire, which ones are magic mapping. And you got a platform.
Which ones take away stat abilities, which ones add stats.
Yeah, there's positive ones and negative ones. Again, just like Brogue. You can go back and listen to our Brogue episode in the back catalog if you're looking for something more traditional. That's my most recommended traditional roguelike game. But this really feels like that in the sense that when you go in and you press start, just know you will not win. You're not going to win until you've put in a ton of time to figure out patterns and stuff like that. So each level has a boss. Now, these bosses are actually optional because you can actually just go right by the boss and go in a door and head to the next level. But what you'll be missing out on is a key that gives you access to more loot, which will therefore help you strengthen your character. And then after every level, you also get a stat point that you can put into various categories like your sword, your defense, your casting, different abilities that you'll rank up. Along the way, you'll have found weapons or casting like wands or archer bow things. That's what they use as you progress through the game. And that's kind of what this game appeals to me as, is the no run feeling the same thing. And I think because of the vastness of the items and the randomizations of the stats, it keeps it fresh every time I start a new run.
I think one of the things I had trouble with in this game was the difficulty right out of the gate. And that threw me for a loop, is because like there is a tutorial and it introduces you to the most basic of the gameplay mechanics. However, it does not prepare you for what it's going to throw at you in the actual game. And like, I found myself doing multiple runs and I'm just like, holy crap, I'm not getting anywhere. It does take a ton of time to master some of the mechanics that you need for to progress, I guess, through the entirety of the level. You have a jump mechanic where you can hang on the ledge of certain not levels, but platforms, right? And you have to time your jump just right, and you have to hang on the ledge for a time, and then jump up, and it just the game. I felt the game didn't prepare me enough for how hard it was going to be, and even though I knew going into it that it was going to be difficult, I felt like the tutorial just kind of went over the gameplay mechanics and didn't properly prepare the player for the difficulty level that would be required of the game.
Yeah, it is quite difficult. You do start the game with 3 different classes. You have a mage class, a warrior class, and a rogue class to start off with. But as you play the game and you go through your runs and die, you do earn experience points, and the experience points unlock certain things. Like there's 2 more classes that you can unlock. One is the wildling, and the other one is the houndmaster. And then there's also like almost like buffs that you can unlock.
Well, I think they're like pass or histories. They're essentially just different skill sets and stats that you can start with. I don't think anything are necessarily buffs as much as they are different ways to play the same character.
No, there's definitely buffs. Like one of the ones that I unlocked was the I don't remember what it was called, but and essentially after each level there is a campfire that you can sit at, and it regenerates I believe 30 health, if I remember correctly.
It ain't much.
Yeah, it's not
health
much.
is hard to come by in this game.
Yeah. So anyways, there is a perk that you can unlock that it will give you an extra 10 health at the campfire each time you get to a campfire. As well as there is... So each set of levels has 3 sets. So there's the cave levels have 3 levels. There's 3 different bosses in each one of those levels, and it's random which one will be in the level that you encounter. Then after the cave level, there's a forest level. There's 3 bosses and 3 levels in that one, so on and so forth. I believe there's a total of 4 or 5 areas, if I remember correctly. But
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, also in the areas, there's these fairies that you can rescue, and if you carry them to the exit, they will actually give you a 5 health boost at each of the campfires as well.
And again, that's not that big of an upgrade. Like, you're going to, by the time you finish the level, that 30 health is going to be like, oh, well, thanks for nothing.
So what was the farthest you guys got?
At 2-3, maybe? I mean...
I got to the second level.
Now, I've never just straight up sprinted through levels. Like, say, so I'm skipping this boss. I've always tried to learn the bosses when I encounter them. And there's one of the plant bosses in the second world that just...
Vine Lord.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Or is it the mushroom guy? The mushroom guy is horrible.
It's like got these viney arms. Something like
Vine Lord.
Of, the Little Shop of Horrors. Movie Draft House, your favorite podcast app.
Did you guys do that movie?
Yeah, hey, catch up
well,
with your
it's not
hot
even
dog,
out yet.
all right?
We just recorded
No, but he
it.
ain't listened to like the past 8 episodes, all right?
He admittedly only listened to episodes for movies he's seen. It's fine.
It's
fine.
And I have seen that movie, and I will listen to that
There you
episode.
go. And you can try to guess right now which one of us liked it and which one didn't.
Obviously, Jeff liked it, and
There
Mark
you
did
go.
not.
Okay, spoilers, but check it out and find out why Mark is wrong. Now, what were we talking about video game wise?
I think he just hates Rick Moranis.
Ooh.
You are not. Wow, he's good, isn't he, folks? He is good.
What? That's crazy.
Did you like sneak into the Discord channel where we were recording?
No,
Not at all.
crazy.
He's good. He's good, folks. Okay.
I love Rick Moranis.
I know how Mark thinks.
Oh, yeah,
I
okay.
love Rick Moranis.
Let's let the
He's
people
great.
decide. He's a good human being. And he's more humble than Mark. Now,
Okay, so back to what we were talking
I
about.
don't even remember now.
We were talking about how far you guys got.
Vine Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, the Vine Lord.
No, I get to the. I didn't get to the second level boss. The game. I am a big non-fan of the pixel art, and I
knew that was coming.
Yeah, no, I did think that the background art for this game was pretty good. It was unique. It had a certain like a certain vibe to it. I got kind of a not a Zelda vibe, but like this fantastical vibe to it. But like I couldn't focus on it long enough, and like it was in the background, but the game is so difficult that I was like so dialed into trying to get to the next platform that I had a hard time taking in everything that this game had to offer. And so I feel like I missed out on a lot just because I was trying really hard. And I'm not a fan of like the Souls games. And so I don't like dying a lot. I feel like my time is being wasted when I play a game like that, and I don't necessarily feel like my time was wasted in this game, but I feel like if I played it for longer, that I would have gotten to that point where
see, this is less Souls-like because even though like there are patterns to bosses, because everything's procedurally generated on the levels, you're never going to have the same boss fight. Even though there's like, patterns to the bosses, like the baby dragon, you can avoid his fireballs because he like shoots 3 at a time. You just make sure you have cover and then jump out of cover and attack him. But you're not always going to have the same setup to be able to attack him the same way. So it's like, I wouldn't say it's like Souls-like at all because of that fact. Like,
Well, I think he's just drawing a comparison on the difficulty.
No, right. The amount of death that happens in, from your character. I think
Mark's more of an let's go on an adventure kind of thing. That's what he likes.
100%.
He likes, hey, I get the sword, I'm the badass here. But in games like this and Dark Souls, the enemies are the badasses, and you're the one who's just trying to make it.
Yeah, and like in games like this, from an indie developer, I can appreciate the amount of difficulty that a developer like Nuke 9 puts into this, is because they're trying to make something that's unique, and they're not trying to pump out something that is, just paint by numbers. And so I get that, and I try to appreciate that fact while playing it. It's just that these type of games are kind of a turnoff for me, just right out the gate. So I gotta like go into this with like blinders on and say, okay, I don't like this type of game, but let me dial in and try to get through it. And it's very difficult, and it will require a lot of time in game to progress, farther than where we were at.
I was able to get all the way to the catacombs, but I was able to get there actually with my son Brandon, and that's another thing. There's couch co-op on this game, which is phenomenal. I don't know if either one of you got a chance to experience that with any of your people in your household.
No, I did not.
What about online? Did you ever try doing that?
Hell no.
Well documented on this podcast, I'm not a multiplayer guy. So
yeah,
true.
It's like multiplayer pixel art that marks out. It's difficult. This is
so. Anyways, the couch co-op is phenomenal on this. You can have up to 4 players, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
I played up to 3 players. Me and 2 of my sons were playing. It is a great game to do couch co-op on.
Now, what about it made it so enjoyable?
I mean, other than the fact that one son is stealing all the loot from everybody else.
Classic,
right? No, it was a game that we could play together, and it flows really well. It's really fun to play, and as long as everybody is on the same page on how to like get through the levels, it plays very well. And actually, when one person dies, they can come back as a skeleton and continue to fight the battles.
So would you say the game is easier in multiplayer?
No, I wouldn't say it's easier because of the fact that other people can take the loot, and the loot is kind of sparse when there's 2 people or more playing.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't say it's easier. I think I got further and better loot by myself most of the time. Except for like when it was me and Brandon, we got to a point where we were like actually sharing loot, and we were able to get pretty far. But yeah.
So what you're saying is your other son is the thief?
No, he would like initiate battles, not realizing it.
Oh, okay.
He would accidentally, quote unquote, air quotes, accidentally hit the shopkeeper. By the way, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Wait, you could fight the shopkeeper?
Oh, yeah, and he's ridiculously hard. And the problem is if you kill the shopkeeper and then steal anything out of the shop, every shopkeeper you encounter after that will attack you.
Huh. Yeah, and that's like straight out of Spelunky, where the shopkeeper's like the most dangerous thing, but it is valuable to steal from them. Mostly because the items are so expensive, and I feel like the amount of gold you get per level is so minuscule in this game that it kind of makes it hard to save up for any sort of purchases. Because one of the things you can do is look in the shop.
Yeah, the first store always has the best stuff too. That's the worst.
Yeah, and you have no money. But one of the good things is that those potions in there are already identified, so you can kind of use that as a way to know what potions correspond with what colors.
Yeah, that was actually another perk. You could start as like the shopkeeper's son, and you had, I think it was discounts in the stores, and you started the game with 25 gold extra.
Mm.
Yeah, but... So speaking of that progression, I do need to mention this.
Oh, God. Prepare your buttholes.
Yes. After... And this is on Xbox. I don't know if it occurs on PlayStation or the Steam store. But after I hit level, I think, 23 in progression, which unlocked a... hold on, I want to pull up what the item was that it unlocked. I don't remember offhand. Bear with me. When you unlock the Cursed Adherent, the game crashes on Xbox and is unplayable. You can't even get past the start screen. You start it up and it crashes multiple times. And this is a known issue. Apparently the developer has not been able to fix it. They haven't even been able to track it. Honestly, I don't think before I told them where it started crashing, they even knew where to even start at.
So what you're saying is you broke the game.
I broke the game. No, actually the game was broken beforehand. I think I might have been able to figure out what is breaking the game. But again, I don't know if this happens on PlayStation and Steam as well, but it is definitely an Xbox issue for sure.
I mean, I played on the PS5 and didn't have any issues, so...
Well,
yeah, but you also didn't get as far as I did.
That you wouldn't have a problem on PC, mostly because PC tends to get updates right away. And it's been out longer, so I imagine that people running into issues on Xbox, when did the game drop on Xbox? I mean, it's a couple weeks old, right, or something?
I'm not sure. Mark, what's it look like?
Sure. Couple weeks. 100%, I'm positive of it.
But yeah, on the Xbox, if you go under the reviews, there's actually people complaining about it crashing and them not being able to play it. Most of the reviews say it's a great game, but I can't play it anymore because it keeps crashing.
Right. And that sucks, especially for an indie developer, you know.
It was released on the Xbox on January 27th, 2022.
Okay, so 2 months.
Yeah, sorry about your luck.
Yeah, that's fine. And see, I know that it's that, like what I said is the issue, because on both my other son's profiles, we can play the game just fine because neither one of them has progressed to the level that I was at.
Well, humble brag.
Yeah, well,
You're
maybe.
better than a
We'll
couple
see.
of kids.
Get
Okay.
good, son.
Well, no, because actually Brandon was playing most of the time on my profile.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't the only one playing and progressing it. Like, it was probably shared time between the both of us, like 50-50 around. Maybe him playing a little bit more. But yeah. No.
Teddy's gotten to the point where he just destroys me in Smash. I never win anymore.
You should get him on Vagante with you.
No, thanks. That sounds like a nightmare. Not because Vagante's a bad game, but the fact that my kid is the kind that would kill the shopkeeper for a laugh. So
Nice. All right, so we're going to have to do this differently, I guess, because there's not really a paywall as
Let's talk
far
about
as
the
like
value then,
micro transactions. Yeah.
So
So
I
what's-
believe this game is,
Yeah, what's the price?
I believe, all right, I'll pull up Steam real
The
quick,
price is $14.99.
which is what I thought. And I believe that's accurate on Steam. And I do know you can
Paywall.
get this game a lot cheaper on Steam. Like right now, it's even on sale on Steam as of this recording for the next 2 days. So by the time this comes out, never mind. But anyway, yeah, it's $14.99. The amount of time you get out of it, do you feel like that's a good price?
Oh, most definitely. Especially if you're into the roguelike scene. This game is phenomenal for that.
Yeah, and I think the same thing. Like if it hooks you, like if you like that difficulty,
Replayability.
you like having to learn and play over and over again until you actually get it down pat, then you're gonna spend an enormous amount of time playing this game. You know, like just scrolling through reviews on Steam, a lot of these are like 60 hours, 70 hours, 120 hours. So if it hooks you, that replayability is there to add to that value of $15 or less if you find it on sale. So I like any games that are priced at the 20 or under range. And I'm not saying that there aren't games that are worth more or less, but that's right in my wheelhouse for me to take a shot at something, you know?
So do you say that you would, or would you say that this could be a shot in the dark game, or you have to be, in order to get the value out of the game, you have to know what you're getting into?
Oh yeah, this is definitely a know what you're getting into, because there are other roguelike games where you can just get lucky and get the right items at the right time and just be overpowered. This isn't that game.
Like Hades, maybe?
Hades is a complete different game than this, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as roguelites are concerned,
where you start over, but you keep all this meta progression and all that stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah,
this
true.
is more of a you die, you start over, and there are other games that I think are more accessible in that subgenre of roguelike, where like a Binding of Isaac or Enter the Gungeon, where the game's a little bit more forgiving. The action is a lot more fun, and not to say that this game isn't fun, but the action in this game is kind of Souls-like in that your timing, your attacks is everything. This is not a button masher. And so if you're hoping that you get this and it's just going to be these extreme power-ups and you're going to be able to get a crazy build together, you're probably not going to like it. But if you are of maybe more of the Dark Souls scene, you like classic roguelikes like Brogue, I think then it would be something that would interest you, because it feels closer to that than it does an actual action roguelike to me. But no, this is not a shot in the dark. You want to know what you're getting into before you buy this one, because I think there's a lot of people who will get it and hit that first couple bosses and just throw the controller across the room and be done. So you got to know going in that that's what you're in for.
You know, I watched the trailer that was on the PS Store for it, and the trailer that was there did not represent like what this game was at all. And so I could see somebody, you know, going, "Oh, hey, I like platformers," and you know, forking over $15 for this game, and then getting into it and going, "Oh, shnikes, I don't know what to do with myself because I'm dying all the time." And so, like, and that's not this developer's fault. Maybe, I don't know. That could be the publisher's fault. But you know, the trailer for this game on the PS Store was not misleading, but was
very action-like.
Well, yeah, it sold it as more of a action platformer than anything else.
It is an action platformer, but a roguelike, and we can't understate the difficulty here.
Yeah.
I think this game is going to be hard for even seasoned veterans. I've played, 1,000 hours of Spelunky 1, about 600 hours of Spelunky 2, and this game is harder than those. And those are hard games.
I did forget to mention there is a progression in levels as you're playing the game. So generally, if you can defeat a boss and you head on to the next level, you get experience points and you're able to level stats. So as a warrior, there's you got your base stats, your vitality, your strength, your agility, all those, but there's also ability stats that you can have level up as well. And so the warrior has these holy attacks and would charge up your weapon to where you could actually shoot an extra weapon after you've hit an enemy, which was kind of pretty cool. And each character has different stats that you can level up to make the gameplay a little bit easier as you progress.
Judgment.
Well, then at the end of each episode, we decide whether the game deserves our seal or not. It requires a 2/3 vote to be approved or denied. Mark, what do you say?
Did we talk about replayability?
We kind of talked about it when we did the paywall. I'm just going to lump those in together.
Okay.
We're going to call it value.
Yeah, value. Hey, Jeff, can Abby record that for me?
I can ask.
All right,
That's all we
cool.
can. That's all we can do. No. So the it does not get my seal just simply because you have to want to go into this game knowing what this game is and realizing that you are not going to master this game in just a couple of hours of playing it. It's going to take time, and as a platformer, I feel like that's if that's what this game wants to be, then cool. I'm fine with it. It's not the game for me. It's just that it's a bit misleading from its advertisement as a game, and being that it was so difficult right out of the gate, it's not very approachable. And so, being that it's not approachable and the advertisements for it weren't didn't really sell the whole game, it's not going to get my seal.
All right, Jeff, how about you?
I think there are people who would find this to be the best roguelike they've ever played. And those people are few and far between, because I think there are plenty of games that find a good middle ground between difficulty and accessibility that this game is lacking. If this game is for you, great, but I think 90% of people, 95% of people, 98% of people are going to not enjoy playing Vagante because of the difficulty. And that's why I can't recommend it. But I think if the mechanics are all there from a roguelike perspective, and if you can get over the difficulty, I think you've got a great game. But most people aren't going to be willing to put in the time. And I'm someone who plays games like this a lot. It's like my favorite genre, and I haven't been able to put in the time to get over the difficulty hump.
So that's a no from you?
That's a no for me.
Dog.
All right, well, I absolutely love this game. I like the difficulty on it. It's right in my wheelhouse. Honestly, I found this, like, even though it's as difficult as it is, I found it easier to play than, say, like, Enter the Gungeon.
Really?
Yes. Like,
Okay.
for some reason, I can't grasp the way Enter the Gungeon plays, because I guess it's the top-down, twin-stick shooter type of stuff. It doesn't, like...
Enter the Gungeon.
I know you...
that game.
I know you love that game, and, my son Brandon loved that game, too. I think my son Brandon...
Kid.
Well, he did. I think he went further than you and like got more stuff unlocked in that game than you did.
No,
you
there's
got
no
like okay.
Unless he's finished it 100% and he's got the finished gun unlocked. No,
I think he does.
oh, you better ask him.
I will ask him.
Jeff will not be
so-
outshined by a child.
No, I don't mind if he 100%ed that game. Kudos. Like if he finished the Ammonomicon.
But produce the certificate, all right?
I need a screenshot of the finished gun, which is really hard to unlock, which I've got 1,000 hours in that game and I haven't unlocked it, but I've beaten all the bosses and
But if your child has done
it.
it, then good for him. Jeff is on board.
Yeah, absolutely. But I doubt it.
So, anyways, yeah. Even though this one is more difficult, I found an easier time grasping like what it was. Like this feels so much like the action version of Shattered Pixel Dungeons that it was like right in my wheelhouse. And I've beaten that quite a few times.
Yeah. And I think that's the perfect way to describe it. Is this is the action version of Shattered Pixel Dungeon.
Yeah. And so I feel like I'm going to get to the point where I'll probably beat this 100%. I haven't gotten there yet. I only made it to the catacombs, and we fought this thing called the Abomination and just got completely destroyed by it. I mean, my son, Brandon. But as soon as they get the Xbox version fixed, I will definitely be continuing to play it. However, I can't recommend it on Xbox right now in its current state because you're not going to be able to play the game past level 23. And if you're playing nightly, for 30 minutes at a time, you're going to get there pretty quickly. Maybe a couple weeks, you'll actually get there. And then you're not going to be able to play the game. And so it's not worth the $14.99 if it's going to be broken when you get to that point.
Right. Totally true.
However, if they get it fixed, then yes, 100% I do give it my seal. And I can't wait to dive back into it once they get that part of the game fixed.
Yeah, and I think all of the criticisms and the reasons the three of us like it or dislike it, are totally fair. And that's the if that difficulty jives with you, you're in for a game that has an astronomical amount of replayability, especially because of you got the handful of different characters, but then you get all those different starting, I don't know what you want to call them, classes. They have a name for them, but I can't remember what it is. That goes along with that.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit to unlock too. So yeah, there's a ton of replayability on that fact. Unfortunately, because there's 2 no's and only 1 yes, this is not Budget Arcade approved.
Barely, though.
Yeah, barely. It is, however, approved by both of my sons. Brandon and Sam both give it their thumbs up.
3-2. There you go.
Yep, there you go. So it is approved. Yay! No, but yeah, they really enjoyed it. Like, Brandon was putting in a lot of time on it, and like, it was on a nightly basis. He's like, hey, can we play Vagante? Hey, Dad, can we play Vagante? Like, almost every night.
Yeah.
Like, almost to the point where I was like, no, not tonight. I gotta...
Yeah, that's a game you have to be in the mood for. I don't feel like...
Exactly.
So, like, my son's right now is, Dad, do you want to play Smash? Just over and over. And normally I'm fine with it, but he's gotten way too good. So...
That's why he wants to continue to play it with you.
Yeah, he wants to
destroy you. So the next game that we're going to be playing is another indie game.
Woohoo!
And it is Ocean's Heart.
Now, this one is created and developed by friend of the pod, Max Mraz from the Gaming Nexus show, the podcast. And did you say he's joined us?
Yeah, he's going to be on the episode with us.
There you go. So we're going to be
we're going to have a little
directly.
Yep. Be able to go, hey man, this is cool. This is what we think. And then he's going to be like crying because Mark hates it.
Listen, I'm not going to hold back because the dude's on the podcast. I mean, listen, what are we doing here? Our sons liked it, so it gets our seal of approval. Get the hell out of here, man.
Oh,
we're a review podcast.
That was a joke, Mark. Gosh.
Yeah, he's like this now. I don't know what to do about it.
What did you do to him, Jeff?
I thought Little Shop of Horrors was a good movie, and it put me in a good mood, but,
Spoiler alert, Rick Moranis is not good in it. Take that, Rick Moranis stands. You Little Shop of Horrors people, you Honey, I Shrunk the Kids fans. Rick Moranis is not good in Little Shop of Horrors. Let's go, all right? Let's have that discussion.
All those spoilers. All right, Jeff, take us away.
Oh, yeah. So check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Budget Arcade. Don't forget to check out Facebook.com/Budget Arcade, as well as BudgetArcade.com, where we update things on occasion. What else do we have? We got Twitch.tv. I'm not done. We got Twitch.tv, and TikTok is at Budget Arcade Podcast. Now you may go.
If you want to help support the show, you can do so on our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Budget Arcade. You can also support us by purchasing one of our t-shirts, and the show notes has the link for that. If you do support us on Patreon, you will get access to our official Patreon channel in our Discord, and you can join our Discord from the show notes as well. Our music is provided by Stimage, and you can download his music at metroidmetal.com. And game on.